Aloha, all. This is Samana. This is my podcast number 36. We have a lot going on our planet, that's for sure. This podcast is called What is Within Our Power? And so, some of us are feeling a little fear and helpless and overwhelmed and angry and frustrated and so many things. And I want to try to keep this podcast going. I didn't release it at 8 a.m. because I just was too tired yesterday. But I woke up this morning and here we are. It's a couple hours off. I'm going to hope to continue doing podcasts every week. And again, if any of my audience that does listen or if this matters to you, just text me 808-283-7587 or email me samana@spaluna, spaluna.com, and give me topics or things that you would like to hear about, and I would love that. So today is Thursday, March 19th, and it is the first day of spring. It's happy spring equinox. So we can all, it's a little hope for us. We could all go out there and enjoy nature, and if you can't go outside, then open your window and look outside and allow the birds in and the trees and all those things. So spring in Chinese medicine is the organ of the liver, which is why it's a good time to do a cleanse. So lighten up with all that alcohol and sugar and dairy and processed foods and caffeines and all of those things. It's time to eat clean because the liver is our detoxifier. It's our filter for all the toxins in the body. Now more than ever, we have to stay strong. So the other thing with spring and the liver is that green, that nature. So it often says that if you want to heal your liver, to look at green. So looking at trees and being outside and nature is a wonderful way to heal the body. I actually went, so since the gym is closed, I went with a friend and I discovered a park down the street from me, which I've only lived here 4 years. I never knew about it. So I was so glad that he is adventurous and apparently more curious than myself at times, the extrovert versus the introvert. So we found this beautiful trail, and yes, there were people outside. Everyone seemed to keep their distance, but was smiling and had some conversations, and it was beautiful. And again, we need to do what the planet is recommending for us to keep this maintained and not spread any of this virus, but it's still important to be outside. So like if it's with your partner or your family member or a friend and it's one-on-one or just a small group of you, just, keep your hand sanitizers and all those things. You know what to do. Wash your hands. And so we went on through this trail on this little hike, and we were doing exercises outside. So again, going online and just like, what can you do outside? So they had some like bars we could hang on, and then we were racing each other and doing different things. So it was fun. And then they also had disc golf. I know, here I am from an alien from somewhere else, because I heard of disc golf for a long time, but never saw it until yesterday. And apparently a young man told us that not only is Austin one of the leading cities for disc golf, but it has 36 courses in it. So if you're in Austin listening to this, go out and explore the disc golf, or whatever city. I'm sure that it's everywhere now. It was in Maui before I left. I just never knew what it looked like. So that's pretty exciting. So we got to take this serious with what's within our power. That's the whole point of this podcast. So one of the things, so I spend, when I am feeling strong, and I've been feeling strong since last week, I've not had any moments of fear and stuff. It doesn't mean it won't come up, because that's what's going to happen with all of us. Just expect it. You'll have good days, good moments, and then you'll have contracted, fearful moments. And I'm going to give you some tips through this podcast on how to handle that. But one of the things that I read, I'm trying to stay informed with every article, not just the top ones. So all articles to see what's truth, what's kind of manipulation. There are some scams out there and, myths and things. But the fact that China didn't have any new cases yesterday for the first day. Now, mind you, why that matters to us is because this is where it started. Now, we started hearing about this the end of December. I suspect the way nature is that it probably started in, who knows, September or so. Let's say it started a few months before we heard about it, where people started to be infected and various things. I could be wrong, but maybe. But one thing in looking at the pattern of that, because it's hitting all of us, so we want to learn some things from history, is when you go 14 days without any new cases, then it shows that that epidemic, that pandemic there is under control and handled so far. So it doesn't mean we all go crazy, but it just means like that's hopeful. So now, coming into the U.S., unfortunately, I do need to share that I'm sure most of you know this already, is that the reason it's showing we don't have that many cases is because we don't have the testing available. And there is all this thing about people with money and stars and why are the NBA getting tested when people with a fever and sick with hardly any money can't get a test. Doctors are just saying don't come in. I mean, I went for blood work on Monday just for my hormones to get that checked. They were waiting outside with masks and stuff, asked me all these questions. I had to sign it. No, I haven't been exposed to anyone. No, I haven't traveled any of these places. I mean, I totally get all this. And then they checked my temperature, because if I had a fever, they weren't going to let me in. So I'm glad people are doing precautions, and I totally understand it. I am not annoyed in any way. I'm appreciative of it. But let's hope that we start getting some of these tests. And I would also recommend, so let's really think about this globally. Like, just because you're afraid because you have a sore throat or you're getting a little cough. Now, it could be allergies, could be the spring coming in and various things. But if you have the symptoms of fever, body chills, sore throat, headache, like several of the symptoms together, then it would be great if you could get tested, and then you'll have 3 days. I've read so many articles of people that have had a fairly mild exposure to it of 2 to 3 days of a fever, and then it passed, and then or up to the full 2 weeks, and it could be intense if you have any immune compromised or breathing issues or various things like that. So do know that, but definitely isolate yourself when you do get symptoms, and don't go out there thinking, oh, well, there's not a lot of people out, but I'm going to just do whatever. Like, don't be stupid. If you feel any of those symptoms, don't say I'm going to work because my work is still open right now until it closes in the next couple days. Now, many things are closing because it is what's happening because we want to contain this, yet there are other things that are opening. So some of the things I read is Kroger's, it's a grocery chain, and I'm sure with H-E-B it's going to be similar in different things, is that they just hired 2,000 people. They're looking to hire more people. So I'm certain if you're looking to switch gears to find a job right now, you could get something in the service industry. If you have a car to deliver service, things like for Amazon or any of these food places, or to see if you could be part of packing up groceries for the elderly or anyone that just wants their stuff delivered right now. That's something. I heard that Target was, of course, lessening their hours. Anyone that is still open, they are making the hours less just to make it more doable. But they're doing a thing on Wednesday mornings as soon as they open that they're only allowing so many people in at a time, but they're leaving that for the senior citizens to go on to not be so afraid to do their shopping the first hour. And then, so that's a beautiful thing. So I am noticing that humanity is really kicking in here. And things, we don't know how long. This could go 5 months, this could go 2 years, people. Like, this is what I'm hearing. These are all the information I'm hearing, and we're not certain. Like, yeah, how are we going to pay our house note? What about food? What about all this? We'll figure it out. But please don't hoard. If I were in charge of this country, I would have instantly, again, would have doesn't make any sense. But even now, I would just have a regulation of, okay, one toilet paper, one thing of potatoes, like one milk, one thing of eggs, like per person. Like Costco, so my sister works for Costco, and she was saying how they were like in Ohio, how there were like 700 people, and then right at opening, and everyone was hoarding all these things. Then they regulated it where they could only get 2 toilet papers or something per person, then one. Now they get it to 1. And they actually look at your membership. So they see if you were just in there the day before, they're not giving it to you. I don't know if it's for a month's time or what, but that's how it should be. I heard on the radio, I was just so sad about it, that a woman, new mother, and she's breastfeeding, but she said she was with these other women who were pregnant, that some aren't breastfeeding because it didn't work. So, but they can't get formula and they can't get baby wipes and stuff. So that stuff really hurts my heart. So if you're out there and you've hoarded this stuff because you're afraid, like, I don't know, somehow try to connect. There are so many things going on online now. See if you could help these people out. And it's like, yes, I know you want formula if like we don't have food for a year or so, but like these babies actually need it. So let's like give of our needs is what we need to do at this point. So, as you know, we're quickly switching to virtual connections. I mean, I've been teaching virtually workshops and trainings and counseling since before I left Maui, because a lot of my clients lived on the mainland and wanted to continue sessions with me. So, it's easy for me. And I'll tell you, my initial thought, so this was back in the late 90s. No, it was the early this was within these last 20 years that this really started. So let's say around 2008 I started doing this, to be honest, where I would do counselings. And I'm like, wait, how could I do counselings when they leave? Because it's so intimate. Like, I like someone in front of me. I like to register their responses and stuff. And then I realized that once I got over that, I'm not used to this, and just focused, I noticed that I could go very deep online. Like, I've done it with a small group where I've taught, and it's something, life changing. I've done it where it's an intense training with microneedling and, or dermaplaning or something, and we have to be pretty focused there because I'm not there. I can't move their hand. I just have to watch them. And all of this does work. So if you have reservations about it, get through it. So, any of you that are my followers, you know that David Garrison and I were offering our Be a Relationship Architect workshop intensive this weekend, which of course we canceled because we can't have more than 10 people in a space, and some people are fearful. So now some of the people that already registered said they'll just wait until we could do it in person, but we decided to do this online. So any of you out there listening, that because you definitely have the time for this now, that you want to do this virtually, we lowered our price to $175. It's going to be 2 days from 10 to 5. And we'll take several 10-minute breaks, and which we'll do it collectively, and we'll take a 1-hour lunch. So if you need to deal with kids or whatever, and then, or we're going to do it 2 people for $300. So if it's a partner and you, or if it's 2 friends in the same home, we'll do that, because through Zoom and stuff, if you're not familiar with that, you could put people in separate chat rooms. So when we partner up, again, it may feel awkward and not as intimate, but it could be as intimate as possible. And then when you're partnered up with someone and doing a particular process exercise or communication exercise, David and I will take turns going into different rooms and listening in and giving advice and support and stuff. So we're going to do that. So if this interests you, contact myself and let me know that you want to be added to the list. And when we get a handful of people, and again, these are my people in Maui. I was going to do this. I already had 3 people signed up, and I didn't even advertise it in Maui the end of June. So even my Maui people could do this now, and it is a great time. Again, self-awareness. If you have time, use self-awareness skills, and that's what this is for. So this is going to help you clear your past traumas and wounds and fears. Like, why did you shut down your heart? What are you skeptical about? What don't you trust? What is your filter or your view that you project on others that you don't allow them to get close? So many things that we're going to address and give you skills on how to say things. Hey, I'm scared. Will you hold me? And not you react and say, my fears are too strong, and, why aren't we both working? And I just keep hearing so many different things. So we're going to offer that. And if you're interested, contact me. So my number is 808-283-7587. Did I just say this? I'm not sure. And as I said, my website is spaluna.com, spalu.com, luna.com. You could see some of the stuff I've done, and then my email. So texting is my favorite, and I'll get back to you whatever timeline you're at when I'm available. The other thing that I offer virtually, I've already been doing this certification for therapists out there, and I do one-on-one just for people. So again, being in spring, we are officially in spring today, and more than ever, I do my 30-day detox and spiritual reboot. So this is going to help detox the body in a serious way. It's going to help detox the mind and get your thoughts clear and higher vibration, and clear your heart. So it's emotional detox and spiritual detox. So we do it on every level, and it's one-on-one. I'm going to do this with you. I usually charge $500 for that, and I am doing a discount for $300. So you could get this one-on-one with me. So it's an hour and a half to 2 hours a week online. And then the supplements, so pure encapsulation are the supplements. I just got a big order yesterday. They said they're packed. I talked to the guy, but they still have things in supply. And what I recommend for this cleanse is a thing called the Pure Pack Detox. It's 30 foiled sealed packets, so it's for the 30 days, and it's everything you need, your vitamin C's, your omega oils, your alpha-lipoic, your B vitamins. It's everything you need to detox and clear your body out, which would be highly recommended right now. And I believe that retails for, I have to look at that. I think that's like $70 or something for that. And I give you 10% off. And then they also have probiotics, which I recommend. And a good probiotic is about $36. So we could have that sent directly to you, and you get 10% off of that. So let me know if you're interested in that, and we could arrange that. Anyways, so let's talk about what's happening here. So you'll have good days and bad days. Like, the fear will creep in, and I want you to have resources when it does. So for me, like I said, I've been great this week, but last week there were 2 moments that fear was overwhelming. I got up, I started reading these damn articles, and I wasn't strong enough. And I recommend do your cleanse. I had a friend of mine who's a Austin firefighter, and he's like, I have to decompress. I'm like going offline. I'm doing my cleanse, and I'll see you on the other side. And he closed off his phone and everything because it was overwhelming. So I did say last week, where I was talking about now is the time to avoid toxic relationships because you want your immune system strong. And then he had commented to me that first responders don't have that luxury right now. And I want to say first, thank you to everyone out there, because you're right. And I wasn't speaking to you, but I want to add this, that, such gratitude, just gratitude for your work, and pace yourself to the best of your ability, because if you get run down, then we're all screwed. So take care of yourself. Do whatever it takes. Find whatever it takes to nourish yourself and various things. And yes, do that. Okay, so any of you that have their own sauna, those are good things. I wouldn't do a public sauna at this point. But again, I've been reading, because I've been into infrared saunas for the last 15 years. And I used it because I had an autoimmune disorder years ago where my body attacked my liver. Anyways, I ended up having heavy metals, which is what caused that whole issue. and I had to detox that. So this is why I'm such an authority on detoxing and cleansings. I almost died. I had 2 months to live in 2001, and I healed myself through research and through doing what I share and what I teach now. And I've had several people that have been diagnosed with terminal things, and I'm not saying I could help you with something terminal, but I've helped many people altering their diets, and which is a big thing, is taking in less toxins and then incorporating positive antioxidants and beta carotenes and all of those things to strengthen your body. Anyways, but what I'm finding is with the sauna is that it helps to heat your body temperature, which helps boost your immune system. So if you have a sauna, that's a great thing. If you don't have a sauna, so this is before you catch any of the virus, because you want that heat. So the plus about this virus, we know that it's very susceptible, or I don't know if you know, to heat. So keep your body like going, and keep your body temperature up, like do jump squats, do whatever it takes for deep breathing, jumping up and down, exercising, crunches, all of that. Just keep your body moving and strong. So now looking at this emotionally, when that fear does come in, so staying connected with your partner, with your family, with your friends. Now, if you're living in a home with a group of people or roommates, then I'm sure you're all figuring this out together, and I'm glad you have each other. If you live alone and you're kind of isolated and your family is far from you, then do virtually. Like I believed in this even before this crisis happened. I have so many friends that I love, many of my people in Hawaii, and that we either set up phone calls or FaceTime or Messenger, and we set up dates, and we get our coffee or a glass of wine or sandwich or something, and then we actually schedule it in. So put it in your appointment book. You're going to have lots of openings in that appointment book. Now is the time to really incorporate, instead of spinning out or getting drunk or doing stuff that is not the wisest right now. I understand if you do that, and then get your act together, straighten up again, and start thinking in terms of how do you stay your strongest, because when you get this virus, because I believe we'll all get it, let's hope it's the 2 to 3 days and passes instead of the 2 weeks, and it could be fatal. So be wise. Again, and it's not just elderly, it's anyone. They're saying the biggest range is 20 and up. So it's not just anyone. So anyways, okay, so schedule in these times online where you're going to meet with a friend and talk, and also get some type of daily schedule right now for yourself where so I do my routine. I have 3 hours every morning, and I'm still doing it. So I can't go to the gym, but I'm doing exercises here. I have my exercise ball, I have some weights, I have my bands, I have so many things, and then there's millions of things. If any of you are on my Pinterest, I have a Living Healthy app that had category that has so many exercises that you could do on the floor and the mat, and without machines and stuff. So yeah, get creative. Anyways, so I have an exercise that came to me yesterday in my meditation, and this is a wonderful one to use for clearing and connecting. I call it 10 to 1-ness. So not 10 to 1, 10 to 1-ness. So this is bringing us back to a wholeness. So let's say you woke up and you feel a little shaky or on edge, or your fear's coming up. If you live alone, text a friend, say, can we do a 20-minute exercise? And this is a 10 to 1-ness. So what you do is you set your phone for 5 minutes, and for 5 minutes, one of you starts, and you just share all of your fears without being censored. Everything, the worst case scenario of everything going through your mind. Let it out. Release it. Don't hold it in anymore. And when that timer goes off, set it for another 5 minutes, and you finish with everything you appreciate, all your gratitude, all your hopes and dreams, everything beautiful. So for my estheticians out there, for years I'd talk about galvanic. We have a galvanic machine where you have a negative polarity, then a positive polarity, and the way to remember that is you end on a positive note. This is also in counseling. We end on a positive note. So by the time we say our appreciations and gratitude, which has had scientific studies measuring brain waves, that it shows that it creates a holistic shape, a sphere in the brain when we are in appreciation and gratitude or meditating. That's another thing that does it. So all of those things, do that, and then allow your friend to do this to clear and connect. 5 minutes of them saying their fears, even if they say they're not in fear. Okay, let's make it up. Whatever you think you're most afraid of. And then when that goes off, another 5 minutes of appreciations and gratitude and your hopes and dreams. And I'd say do this daily if you're a little shaky, or do it often with someone. And I want you to notice that it works, and share this with someone. Share my podcasts with someone, because I have stuff from my earlier work. I hope that it's of value to you out there. This is what really matters to me, is I want to be an anchor. I've always said that I'm a person, throughout my life, I noticed this in my late 20s, that doing facials and things, that the clients that would come to me would have some serious issues and depressions and addictions and stuff. And this is how I kind of evolved into counseling, as the universe kind of made it happen, or it's what that authority that I gave out, that kind of healer, compassionate person with wisdom at times. So I'm great in crisis. I'm great, and I say I'm the person you want to hold your hand when you're walking through hell, when you're walking through the dark, when you're so afraid, because I'm not afraid of being in an unfamiliar place. And I've learned how to ask for help when I need it, or I've learned to do my self-care tools when I know that I'm not strong. And I'm telling you, and when I have some clients call, or friends or people that can be challenging at times, or that need a lot of energy, and I'm giving you this advice, I don't answer the phone when I'm not balanced, because you don't want two people going down. Just wait till you're balanced at that point and then call them. So I highly recommend that. Okay, so now here's more of this. So keeping our hearts open. So this isn't just a woo-woo term. This is not only by keeping your heart open do you feel better, you feel more connected, as opposed to feeling lonely and isolated. So if you're having these feelings that you're so alone, or this terror that you're going to be isolated, maybe your heart energetically is closed. If you're feeling tightness in your chest and sadness and fears and things, this could be in addition to everything going on, that your heart energetically is closed. So we want your heart open, because remember, there's more neurons in your heart than in your brain, and the neurons are our ability to process information very fast, very like that, present in the moment. So it keeps us, tuned into our present moments, which is our inner intelligence, our emotional intelligence, our awareness. So in those cases, having an open heart, it is know when to buy supplies, know how much to buy, without, as we said, without hoarding. Things like, with an open heart, offering to shop for your elderly family members, or the neighbor, or someone who's sick, or drop off food for someone. I love that this Nextdoor app, that I'm seeing people signing up, offering to help others that might be too afraid to leave, or too sick to leave, or the elderly that shouldn't be out in public right now. So these are some of the beautiful traits that are happening with our humanity and bonding together in this unknown time. So some of the tips to stay centered, as I said, be in nature or looking outside at nature. For me, my window is always open. I believe you could hear it in the background. My beautiful wind chimes. My mother gave me one. I bought another one a long time ago. So between those tones, it's just heaven to me. Sitting here when I meditate in the morning on my cushion, and I have my bird bath that I keep clean and filled out there. I had this beautiful little yellow bird the other day that was so sweet, and then I have this cardinal that visits me all the time. and takes his bath. I just love it. So those keep a smile on my face. So other tips for staying centered is staying present and keeping your mind and thoughts and your fears in check. So staying present will keep your mind clear. So 4 ways of staying present. One is surrendering. One is asking for help. One is trusting the universe, God, humanity, however you look at that. And the other is choosing love over fear in each moment. So when you're tight, when your heart is closing down, surrender. Just give in to that. I notice I'm afraid. I notice I'm shut down. Learn to ask for help. Choose love over fear. Meditation is your friend. I am doing counseling. I was saying a sliding scale from 25 to 50 an hour. I'll do for donations. Anyone out there having a hard time, I know that money, no one knows what's happening, so offer me anything. You could pay me on PayPal's or Venmo or whatever and contact me, and you have an hour where I'll hold your hand virtually and help you with some grounding exercises, or you could talk through it with me, or I'll give you a guided meditation or breathing exercises, whatever that takes. So one of the breathing exercises is just inhale for the count of 5, pause for the count of 5, exhale for the count of 5. So inhale, pause, hold, exhale. All equal. And try that pattern. There are many patterns you can do, and just do it regularly till you have like 5 rounds and you're finding that you're a little more stable. Other things you can do is light candles or incense. I have a diffuser going that happens intermittently, and it has a thieves blend in it, or you could use cloves, cinnamon, I said this last time, any type of citrus, eucalyptus, niaouli, any of those. They're good for calming the mind. It smells nice. It's known already with lavenders and various things that have that microbial effect that it can kill airborne viruses up to 70%, as well as it's emotionally satisfying. So get that diffuser out. And if you don't have a diffuser, you can get a pot and put it on low with a little bit of water on your stove and just put some oils and stuff in that, and it will lightly diffuse it into your air. Basil is another good one. I used to use that all the time because that is antiviral, so it's good to prevent like around flu season and stuff like now. But it's also good for brain alert, keeps your mind focused and alert. So if you can, have a friend come over or do this virtually, and you could watch a movie together. If they can come to your house, play cards, do dancing, do a sing-along, your karaoke, board games, work out together. Another tip is color therapy. So color is very influential to our mental state. So getting crayons or paints. I actually have acrylic paints and things, and I have body paints and a black light. So I'm going to save that one for a little bit in the future and do that with my friend. That will be fun. But to have crayons and color pictures and just seeing all the colors. And also, like in Austin, they have an online thing called Yay Maker, where it's this thing like painting with a twist, where you go, and now they're doing where they're selling these paint kits with easels and all these things, and then they're doing online classes, virtual classes. So any of you out there, I know my friend Olivia, she hosted a painting party for us before. I may hit her up to do this again. So any of you artists out there, why not offer this as a virtual thing, having people go on Amazon or somehow getting their painting supplies, and you do a webinar and charge $20 or something, and everyone can do a little painting thing. Okay, so using color as a breathing visualization. So here we are. Here's an exercise. Sit quiet. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Focus on your heart and chest area. Visualize the first color that comes to mind and let it surround you and saturate you. And it is said that this is like our emotional body, our inner child. This is the color that may help bring in balance and ease and lift your spirit. So if you notice it, and let's say we're doing that and it's a nice pink color, or it's a blue color, or a beautiful green or yellow, or whatever the color comes to you, then go in your closet, wear those colors, paint with those colors, crayon with those colors, like surround yourself. If you have foods in those colors, eat them, and just like fill yourself with all of that. Like let that inner child really have a voice right now. So some of my clients, and my daughter even, have been talking about pressure in the chest and this tightness now. That's one of the coronavirus symptoms, so there's all this fear around it. But if there's no other symptoms, I'm going to tell you that collectively as humanity, our humanity is here. That tightness in the chest without other symptoms can be your heart, your fear, your heart closing and having a hard time. It could be belief systems coming up that are no longer valuable for you. So these things happen at the most exceptional times, sometimes in inappropriate times, but it's going to happen. This happened to me the other night where I could feel this. I was in the middle of a conversation and out of nowhere I got triggered and I felt this tightening in my chest. It actually felt, what I visualized was me just bolting out the door and running away because there was so much pressure in my chest and I was noticing it and I stayed present. And then I had to start soothing myself and saying, it's okay, Samana, and you're safe, and putting that little blue bubble around me and taking a couple of breaths and trying to be present and noticing that that tightness in my chest was emotion and that was thoughts, thinking I'm going to be abandoned, I'm going to be judged, I'm going to be not seen. So many things happened at once. But as that happens, there are times that we could do either gentle breathing or putting our hand on our heart or saying soothing words to ourselves. It's going to be okay. I'm here for you. Like, you are not going to leave yourself. Those old wounds, this is a good time to allow those belief systems and those old wounds to leave. They're holding us back. They're keeping our heart closed, and we want our heart open. Journaling is also, if you have no one to share the 10 to oneness exercise, journal, use this. Do your clearing and connecting exercise. So that's 5 minutes of writing all your fears and 5 minutes of your gratitude and joys. And being authentic. If you're afraid, if your authenticness is fear right now, or bravery, or silly, or sexy, or playful, or inspired, or you're in love, or you're needing a hug or closeness, now more than ever is a time to exercise your voice and speak your truth. Regardless of how you feel, it lands for others. So many times when we say we don't want to say our truth because we're afraid it will hurt someone else, that is usually our wound. And what's really happening is we're afraid that that person will leave us or judge us. That's what's going on. And we need to be authentic with that. So, and if we're authentically we're not doing it to be mean, like we know we're being kind, but it is my truth and I need to share it. By sharing it with that little voice, that little child that speaks until it could be a strong voice, we're building our self-trust, and we're actually going to build trust with the other person. So everything I share with my audience, I'm learning on my own too, over and over again to deeper levels. And speaking our truth invites others to do the same. And these are times that we want these positive things to spread. I'm going to end with, I have other things to share. My next podcast, I'll talk about things you could do with, again, more preventions and things you could do with children at home or when you're bored and how to do that. But I want to end with a metta practice. So this is a spiritual guided meditation. And it's an exercise. Metta, M-E-T-T-A, means loving kindness. So if you're feeling sad or scared, try visualizing someone in front of you. Take a few deep breaths and say these words with intention. Picture that person and do one at a time. May you feel safe and secure. May you feel happy, loved, and lovable. May you feel healthy and strong. May you live with peace and ease. So those are your 4 phrases. And you do that over and over. So you could visualize this. So they have you do this in a couple different sections. They have you do it with someone you love. Then they have you do it placing someone in front of you that you have challenges with, that maybe you've had an argument or it's hard being with them. So do those 4 steps. May you feel safe and secure. May you feel happy, loved, and lovable. May you feel healthy and strong. May you live with peace and ease. And then they say to find a neutral person. This could be a neighbor, this could be the cashier at the store, this could be someone that you don't really have an interaction with, so it's a neutral feeling, but give them this juice. Our first responders, do these first responders, and then the last, you do it for yourself. And this is doing 2 things. It's helping to focus your mind so it doesn't run away with negative thinking, and it helps to raise your vibration. So therefore, your immune system is raised, the thoughts for the center of the brain. So your immune system is raised because your thoughts are raised, and there have been, again, physiological processes and studies showing how this increases that. So I would say to try the metta exercise. This is another tool in your toolbox. You definitely have enough time for care tools, and contact me if you need counseling. Again, just offer a donation, $20, $25. I'm here. We're all going to get through this together. And blessings to you, and we will speak to you next week. Contact me if you have any ideas of podcasts. Thank you. Aloha.